All right. It says I'm live. How's it going, guys? Happy Friday. See, now I almost said happy Thursday because I was on yesterday, but it is indeed Friday. I don't know about where you guys are at, but it's still hot and muggy in Michigan, but supposedly starting tomorrow, it's going to cool off. So if you guys work outside like I do and you're sweating your tail off, hopefully it'll get better. Let's see who's in here tonight. Mark Corby with a super chat right off the bat. Thanks, man. He sent me a virtual slice of pizza, and I appreciate it. All right, let me scroll up here and see who's here tonight. Say hi to you guys for a minute. We got BJ Holcomb, Gary Wisner, Mark Corby, Nick Orlando. What's going on? Bill Alexander, Pillbox. There he is. What's up, man? We've got RJL. Mateo, as always. Thank you, sir. I always appreciate your hard work on here. Joe Morgan, how's it going? Hope your night's well. My night's well. I'm here with you guys. Of course it is, right? Edward Kent, what's happening, man? We've got Stuart Jackson from Minnesota. Rudy Finney from Michigan. How's it going, Rudy? BJ Holcomb. Don Honecker, another Michigan guy. How's it going, Don? We got Stuart Jackson. Oh, I already said hi to Stuart from St. Paul. Okay. I thought maybe you had a clone. Lil Rob 2030. We've got Double B. David 488013 talking about his CZ. Nice. I've heard those are really nice pistols. That's one I've yet to get. The CZ P10. JDV3's in the house. What's up? We've got Dave Beaver. Outdoors with Tim. What's up, man? How you doing? We've got Tree Guy. What's happening, Tree Guy? Nice car, by the way, Tree Guy. I like that Mustang. Scotty Knuckles, what's up? We got Bad Wolf. Julia Seizure. How's the trigger on the G3C? See, I put in the title some of my favorite 9mm, so I'll cut to the chase. The G3C is quickly one of my favorite pistols to shoot. I just took it out with some friends. It was their first time shooting like modern pistols like this. They just grabbed the thing, shot it, and said it was awesome. And I agree. I think the G3C is excellent. I really, really like it a lot. I've already done a few videos on it. I think I'd like to do another one. The more I shoot it, and this is like with any pistol, guys, virtually any pistol. Let's just say an out-of-the-box, striker-fired, polymer pistol. The trigger usually improves quite a bit after you get past those first couple hundred rounds and or dry fires. And I noted the pistol might have been a little bit stiff, the trigger, a little bit stiffer than my G2C. But now that it's broken in, I love the G2C, guys. If you own one, be proud of it. I'm not telling you to get rid of it, but the trigger's just better on the G3C, in my opinion, period. And also, in my opinion, to answer your question, because a lot of people have been wondering this, I don't believe it needs an upgrade. In other words, if you want to upgrade, that's awesome. Do whatever you want. That's like a lot of the fun for many of you is how much can you upgrade and customize your pistol, your rifle, whatever. But when it comes to the G3C, I am definitely not going to be upgrading mine. I'm completely happy with how the trigger is. So I think it's an awesome trigger. Basically the same trigger as the G3, the full size, which I really like. So there you go. Chuck R is in the house. What's happening, Chuck? Talking about a couple thousand rounds of ammo. Nice. Joe Morgan says, tell Susan if she's lonely, so am I. Well, yeah, I was hanging out with Susan for a minute before, She likes the channel to a point. Not so much, but look, she's a fan of me, but at the same time, you guys know what I'm saying. Susan Wiki. She doesn't like us being on here. Gary Wisner, what's happening? I'm way behind in the chat, guys. Just saying hi to you guys. And I do want to answer some of your questions that a lot of you have on a regular basis, and hopefully it helps others. And the chat just skipped on me, so I'm going to miss some people. But I see we've got Jose Rios in the house, Authorized Mike. We've got Dylan Paul. We've got Jose Pizarro. What's happening? We've got Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy, Joseph Wallen, Sean Morrissey. Got an M1A. Nice. I've had an M1A for quite a while, actually. Bought one years and years ago. Nice rifle. We've got, I can't pronounce your name, Oguz, Batmaz. Hello from Indianapolis. The guy from Indianapolis. Hello. We've got Guerrero M, BWS Electronic. We've got Tyler. Cabela's have Winchester 9mm for $12.99. Nice. Good deal. And thanks for sharing with each other, guys. We need everybody's help. We do. JB and Water too. What's happening, man? How you doing? Some of you guys are saying hi to Susan. Yeah, they're always in here watching. That's for sure. Rodney's saying that he likes to do custom stuff, I believe, which a lot of you guys do. I like the G3C trigger, guys, and the G3 though. Really nice. Just shocking, actually. Shocking for like sub $300 pistols. I can't believe it. Now they might go for that now. Right now isn't really a good time to say like what a pistol actually costs. I guess it costs whatever, just depending where you're at, and it sucks. But these are sub $300 pistols. Keep in mind. We got Cave Dave from Tennessee, as always. What's happening, man? John Lennon, Jake from Chicago. What's going on? We've got Max M Squared from Ohio. Let's see here. Kevin Jensen says, crazy night in Detroit. I've not been near Detroit. Like, I'm an hour away, but I don't really go there. Is there a bunch of crap going on? Sure there is. Daryl Broom saying, right, the TH9, very smooth. I have a TH9C that I also like. I really do. Mike Hart from the People's Republic of New Germany. That's funny, actually. Channel moderator bot, thank you for reminding people. I have a new channel, guys, Patriot EDU. It's still like patriotic stuff. It's still me, stuff that I like to talk about, but it's for the stuff that's not quite gun related. Some of you guys just only like guns. Other people actually look forward to some of the political stuff I do and some of the activism. So that's what that channel's for. Lots of cool guests that I interview on that channel, and I'm having fun with it. So if you guys think you like it, go over there and check it out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs there just because Susan, back to Susan again, her rules are you have to have 1,000 before you can live stream from your phone. And that's like one of the main purposes of the account. So I could go to an event and say Lansing, Michigan, and bring some nice, live, fresh coverage for you guys. So if you know anyone that'd be interested, spread the word on the new channel. I'd appreciate it. What do I think of the SAR K2? Jason's asking. You know what? I don't have one, so I don't have a lot of experience with it. It's probably like your typical Turkish pistol. It's probably a pretty good bang for the buck, to be honest with you. Maybe someone else can chime in if they're familiar with that exact pistol. But I do not have the SAR K2. As far as the K2, actually, that's, I think, is that a CZ clone, a CZ75 clone? If that's the case, then I am familiar with it. I might be getting it mixed up with this new SAR offering that's available. Here's the problem. They come out with 1 million guns a year, it seems like, and they all have SAR in the name somehow or another. It's kind of like trying to keep up with Canik. It's like, how many names and model numbers for the same guns can you guys come up with? Thousands? VA Wolf with the super chat. What's happening, man? Thank you. I appreciate it. He's holding the fort down in Virginia, and quite the activist down there. You guys in Virginia should definitely hook up with Wolf. He's fighting the good fight down there and making a lot of connections. So I encourage all of you guys, Michigan guys, get together, Virginia guys, Kentucky, Tennessee, New Jersey, New Germany, whatever you want to call it. You guys need to get together, because the other kind, the people that are trying to tear down our country, they're sure as heck getting together, aren't they? They're getting out in the streets. They're wreaking havoc. They're tearing towns down, trying to really, quite frankly, fundamentally destroy America. And they seem like they're ready and willing and able to get together. Now, here's the thing. Many of these are paid protesters, paid rioters. They call them peaceful protesters, peacefully burning, pillaging, killing, doing unspeakable things. Mostly peaceful, though, is what the CNN headlines will usually read. And our events usually are peaceful. Any event I've been to where there's fellow patriots, Second Amendment people open carrying, it's always the most peaceful place I've ever been, where you'll see old people, you'll see little kids, babies, and they're actually safer there than if they were at home. And I think all of you guys that have been to truly peaceful protests and Second Amendment rallies would agree. But we need more of them, because it just seems like there's not enough. I get the whole silent majority thing. There's a little bit of cool factor to that, but at the same time, If we just keep our mouths shut too long and we just sit behind the scenes too long, this stuff starts to become the new normal. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I chose those words carefully. Have you guys heard them saying a lot lately? Maybe your governor, maybe your mayor, the fake news, the mainstream news. They're using this word new normal. They want us to realize that this is just the way things are going to be, and this is just the way society is, and welcome to the new normal. Get used to it or else. Well, I'd rather the new normal or the old normal or whatever you want to call it. I'd rather just plain old normal to be regular good people, which I believe many and most of us are. And while tens of thousands and millions of us good people just sit at home because, and I get it, we have jobs, we have families, we have commitments. Most of these people out in the streets, the peaceful, destructive rioters, don't. It's a lot harder for us than them. I totally get it, but we still need to make it out and about once in a while and get with other good people and hold good, truly peaceful protests and rallies and, just show that, no, this new normal of pillaging and destruction, no, that's like what goes on over in the Middle East. And people that have served our country over there, I've heard a lot of their stories, a lot of your stories. They're like, holy crap, man, this looks like Fallujah. Like, if you looked at what it looked like in Iraq at certain points of time. Because right now, as we speak, quite frankly, most of the Middle East and Iraq look way more peaceful than a lot of the streets, a lot of the cities in the United States. Kind of hits home, doesn't it, when you have Middle Eastern veterans that are sharing stories with you saying, this literally looks like the crap when we served over there in these third world countries. It's kind of crazy. And they're telling us that this is going to be the new normal and this is what we should just expect. And I don't think it's normal at all. I don't think there's anything common sense about it whatsoever. And I think there's way, way, way more good people than there are bad people. There's a lot of real good Americans out there. And we need to actually get out there and show people that we exist, that we're real, and try to do it. I don't really like Facebook, the principles behind it, but that's one of the reasons why I do have the 2A EDU Facebook group, because people will post in there. They'll say, well, come to Lansing, Michigan on the 14th, and we're going to have a protest based on this, or whatever. And it does give a way for people to network. Again, I do mean what I said. I don't like the platform. I don't like Zuckerberg. I don't like Susan either, though, but I'm on here hanging out with you guys. If you guys have other methods, maybe it's a matter of you guys get a little mail address chain going and you mail out flyers to all your friends around town. I know 2A Livingston, my friends from Livingston County are one of the most active I've seen on the local level. And we're actually having meetings and meetups and all that kind of stuff physically. So I encourage all you guys to do the same thing. Because when there's trouble at your back doorstep, you might need help. You might need to be able to call 12 friends instantly to come and help, like at the ready. True Minutemen, right? Or it might be a good idea for you guys just to go and, I don't know, play cards every once in a while. Go get lunch together and talk about these things. Like, what's going on? What's going on in the neighborhood? Have you seen so-and-so? All right. We'll keep an eye on things. And, just stuff like that. I've seen it on some of the local level here, and I think it's a good thing. And you guys probably have better ideas than me. I'm just doing a little brainstorming with you right now, trying to get you guys' gears turning. And you know who I'm talking about. You can probably already think in your head right now, well, I know this dude would be down with it. This guy would be cool with it. I know I can trust my brother. I know I can trust my best friend and his wife and, their friend that I met. There's probably is a small group of people if you think about it. And I suggest you guys, get with them and keep up on these things. Come up with a little bit of a plan, but it's also just cool as heck and like really fun just to hang out with people that are, patriots and good people and smart people. And it's nice to have that in real life instead of just sitting there by yourself, because they're teaching us all to be isolated right now. That we're supposed to get rid of all of our identity and you're supposed to just sit home. And that's why these live streams are awesome, because we can still hang out with each other. I'm looking at all you guys hanging out in the chat right now, and it's very encouraging, BJ Holcomb, what's up to the veterans in here? Lots of veterans in here. White Space Marine says the new normal can eat my shorts. There you go. I'm not a veteran. I never served. So props to you guys. But I'm telling you, I've heard stories. They're like, this is what it literally looked like in Iraq. This is what it looked like in the streets of Afghanistan. People hooting and hollering, running around in a mob, setting stuff on fire, mortars, fireworks, and stuff going off. And then you'll see CNN reporting live from Kenosha, Wisconsin, the mostly peaceful protest. And then in real fine print, that's now resulted in $6 million in damage, such and such death, such and such hospitalizations. Well, besides all the mass carnage and the complete and utter destruction of everything visible and within sight, and besides the fact that, oh, well, some people died, oh, well, a bunch of people got hurt. Now, besides all of that, though, it was 100% mostly, completely, and utterly kind of sort of peaceful. But you see, huge. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's out there. Just look for 2 seconds. Right across the whole top of the screen. Mostly peaceful protest. This isn't peaceful. These people are violent. These people are Marxists. They're Bolsheviks. Look up the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917. Look up the story about how they came in, violently overthrew the Tsar, got rid of the regime. I haven't showed this in a few months, so I'll show it again. Susan doesn't like it when I show this, but that's okay. The first Soviet currency. The Bolsheviks took control of Russia during the October Revolution of 1917, establishing the Russian Socialist, I said socialist, just keep that word in mind, Socialist Federated Soviet Republic, a precursor to the USSR. This undersized note was among the first issues of the new communist government. And this is indeed an authentic, this is real, it's not a reprint. Ruble. Now, people like Karl Marx talked about this in their books as a philosophy. Some say it started before 1917, but this is when it really started. And this was an attempt, has been, and still is an attempt to completely take over the world. This is socialism. This is communism, Marxism. This is violent revolution, where it included people in the streets, setting things on fire, killing, murdering. In fact, when they went over to take over the palace where the Tsar lived, and they went to kill him and his family, because that's what these people do. These aren't peaceful elections when this really takes over. At least it never has been. Look at history. See how many peaceful transitions of power there were. It's not usually peaceful at all. When they went to overtake him physically, he had escape tunnels, and him and his family were trying to escape out of the basement through underground tunnels to physically get away and go hide and try to, live somewhere else in hiding. And when they did that, they tried to escape with some of their possessions. And one of his daughters, named Anastasia, when they finally got him at gunpoint and they had him cornered and they were shooting her point blank in the chest, they said, "What's wrong with this kid? Why won't she die?" Now, this is gruesome, but it's a true story that I'm paraphrasing, of course. You guys can look it up. And they were shooting her point blank, a small child. Bolsheviks were socialist, communist. They were shooting her point blank in the chest, and most of the other ones were dropping and dying like crazy, but not this girl. Why not? Well, they had actually put the family's jewels. She was adorned with lots of gold, rubies, diamonds, hard jewels that are quite frankly bulletproof, put a petticoat over her, and they were running out to try to flee the palace from these violent Bolsheviks that were there. Literally, quite frankly, shooting and killing the current government leadership at point blank range. Now, they finally did kill her and killed the family, but yeah, it's a crazy story. And you think, well, that would never happen in America, except for the fact that very similar things have been happening. Now, they haven't gone to the White House yet and quite grabbed our leader and pinned him down in the basement. But I'll tell you what, I sure saw the White House surrounded violently last night on TV. When I was watching the RNC, awaiting the president's remarks, hostile crowd shouting down, because yes, they have the freedom of speech, but when they shout down so much that nobody else can speak, and you guys can have your own opinion on this, is that still freedom of speech? Or is that what's called fascism? Where it's funny because they call themselves Antifa, but when you look up what fascism actually is, where you're violently, and terrorism is another synonym for this, fascism, terrorism, when you're violently using overwhelming force, and with that force you use fear to persuade people in an ideological or political way. That's kind of sort of, and it's hard to sum it up in one sentence, but that's kind of sort of what fascism and terrorism actually is. So is it truly just free speech when you now go to the point where you're violent enough to where people are now afraid to vote their conscience, where people are afraid, and they're afraid to peaceably assemble and support the president? Look, some of you guys may love the president. Some of you may hate him, but I sure hope that if you're an American and you love your country at all, you should love the fact that people can stand there to support him. They can stand there to oppose him. But when the opposition becomes so violent and such a physical rage that the other side no longer has a voice, that they have to head for the hills and hide out of fear, unless they change their political ideology and go to the other side. Look up the definition of terrorism and see how far off I am. Now, you could split hairs. Maybe I'm totally off, but I think that's pretty much what the definition is. And if you look up Mussolini, you look up socialism, and you look up all these different things, we got people today that run as socialists in the United States of America that are avowed socialists that run for office and actually get lots and lots of votes. Bernie Sanders, for example. He's a socialist. Now, people say, well, he's a different kind of socialist. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But these people had a sale of goods that they were peddling. They were peddling their wares. They convinced a lot of people that this was the right way to go. Now in Germany, the National Socialist Workers' Party. Again, we're back to socialist again. Terrible regime that probably killed 11 million people, probably a lot more actually. But the regime that was started with Lenin here, evolving or de-evolving, however you want to call it, you could call it both, into Stalin, probably killed 3 to 5 times more people than the National German Workers' Party. Yep. And then in the middle of the last century, around 1949, a guy named Mao, Chairman Mao, he started this whole socialism in China and had a reign that lasted for over a quarter century. Now him, you'll never know the truth. You'll never know the true number, but some people say even 10 times more than Germany. At the very least 5 or 6 times more, up to 10 times more death, mass starvations. People literally starved to death by the tens of millions. At the very least, possibly 100 million people executed, starved to death. So when they say this needs to be the new normal, this socialist revolution in the United States, they call it Antifa, they call it many things. There's nothing new about this. They say it's a new normal. No, first of all, it's not normal, and it's not going to be new. We need to thoroughly and utterly reject it in the United States at all levels. But it's not actually new, is what I'm trying to say. This happened in 1917. There was revolutions in the street. Turned up big and reared its head in the 30s. In Germany, Italy, Spain. Look at Spain in the 1930s. Went into possibly, they say, the closest to anarchy that any modern countries had. Spain in the 1930s. China, 1940s. Many would argue still today. Probably still today, right? Look at Hong Kong. Look at all those things that are going on. So what I want to emphasize is, first of all, 2 things. New normal. Nothing's new. Nothing's new under the sun. Now, it's new to people in the eyes that have never actually bothered to read history. It's new to people that aren't exposed to history. But it's not new. It's not new at all, and we can look back. And if you fail to learn from history, you're going to end up being doomed to repeat it. And I believe in that old proverb. I think it's a true saying. Those who not learn from their mistakes, learn from their history, are going to be doomed to repeat them. So it might be new in the fact that nobody has bothered to look back, or maybe they're just Department of Education and many other things have gotten us to the point where there's whole generations of people who never even learned about this stuff. Maybe some of you are in this chat right now. Maybe some of you have kids that are this age. I don't know. If you ask the average, let's just say 18-year-old getting ready to vote, maybe getting ready to serve their country in many ways, whether it's in the armed services or otherwise, many ways to serve your country, by the way. And you say, give me the basics of the Bolshevik Revolution. Tell me what socialism actually is. Who was in charge in Italy in the 1930s and into the 40s? Likewise for Germany. Have you ever heard of Chairman Mao? Like, if you ask somebody that's somewhat younger, I don't know, 18, 25, 30, pick the age, I don't know. Younger than me, because, you know, I'm a little bit over 40, and we still talked about this stuff a little bit when I was in school. Not to the extent that if you look at it a little bit more on your own, but we at least heard about it. We heard like there was some really bad people that did some really bad things. And we used to use sayings back in the 80s like, you know, rather be dead than red. And it was called the Red Scare. And it was called the Communist Scare and the Cold War and commie bad. Like, I did grow up in that era. Well, I think they were bad before my time. I think they were bad slightly before my time, during my time, and after my time, and I still think it's bad. But that's what a lot of this is in the streets. These are modern-day mobs. This is modern-day tyranny. This is mob rule. This is why we need to be careful with the word democracy, because all a true pure democracy is, see, Greece tried it a long, long time ago, and it doesn't work. A true democracy is basically mob rule. If you want your will done, and there's 10 people that don't, you go get 11 people, or 30 people, or 100 people, and you physically trample them over until you get what you want. Another way to word it is, a pure straight-up democracy would be 2 wolves and 1 sheep voting over what's for dinner. And I think we'd know what the conclusion was. So if you look at what they're actually doing here, yeah, they're causing tons and tons of damage, and it's going to cost the taxpayers money. Everyone's taxes are going to go up. Someone's going to pay for this crap. Who's going to pay for it? I don't know. Probably not the people that obviously don't have a job, that are just paid agitators and paid protesters that are out there all day. Some of them are not paid. Some of them are. There's some people who probably are fairly nice people, and they have no idea what they're caught up in because they're just ignorant. Because I do believe there are peaceful protesters on both sides. I'll say it because I think it's true. I think there's people with very left-leaning. There's some people that are very staunch liberals that hang out on this channel that are very nice people. So there are people that have more liberal tendencies that might want certain different, you know, social policies and things like that that are truly out there peacefully protesting. That's true. Both exist at the same time. However, how far does it go where they can just keep claiming ignorance and say, well, I don't really know what this group actually stands for? Like, they might believe in the same Black Lives Matter. And just those words in and of themselves. Yeah, of course, black people's lives matter. And white and red and yellow and tan and brown. And yeah, life matters. We were created by a creator. Like, it's called a miracle, right? It's a miracle that like cells combine and a human's born. Yes, life matters. It's very important. Should we even have to say that? I'll say it. All lives matter, including blacks. But then you have a group, and the name of the group is actually called Black Lives Matter, and you actually look into them, and they're a huge donor group that's funneling money into certain candidates. And they actually have a mission statement that you can look up that has a lot of things in common with the mission statement of these people, and I'm not even kidding. I can't just spoon feed all this to everybody, but if you guys think I'm full of crap, look it up. They have their own mission statements, and no, the group itself, I disavow. That notwithstanding, they're using word games. They're conflating things. But that's not my fault. I didn't choose the name of their group. They should have just called themselves Socialism Matters. We want the Bolshevik Revolution 2020 Matters. And if that's what they had actually called themselves, then they'd at least be being honest. I think it's pretty darn racist if you ask me. And I'm going to get a lot of people that hate me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. We're using the color of people's skin to try to propagate a certain ideology when I know many, many black people who are not socialists don't promote the stuff that's on your agenda. I think it's actually, quite frankly, one of the most racist things I've even seen is the fact that they would attach the color of somebody's skin and assume, like when Joe Biden said, if you vote for Trump, then you ain't black. When you tell somebody they have to act a certain way and have a certain ideology because of the color of their skin, I think that's pretty bad. And that's what I think they're doing. And the fact that they're trying to go further and socially program and say that, hey, look, if you don't support the Black Lives Matter group, the actual group itself that has their own doctrine, their own goals, if you don't support that, then you're racist. It's like, no, I'm sorry. Quit projecting. You're the racist, not me. So that's my thought on that. And anytime I mention Black Lives Matter, people get butthurt, but that's just how I feel about it. That's just how I feel about it. Same way as if they came out with a group that was called White Lives Matter and it had this whole socialist Bolshevik doctrine. I'd be like, how dare you? How dare you say that because I'm white, I have to be a socialist? This is the same point. Pick any color you want, and it all applies. They're trying to use emotion to try to get facts through. So, there you go. I'm going to take a quick peek here, and we saw what happened in Kenosha yesterday. I'm going to take a peek at the comments. And we basically had, you guys know this, I've said it 100 times before. I believe in due process. I believe in the right to a trial, a jury. But this Kyle from Kenosha, I think it's crazy. The now litany of crimes that's stacked up against this kid. Wow. Literally, I was on my stream last night with Matt, which I had a blast, by the way. That was a great stream last night. And I saw he basically came in. I was cutting grass all day, and he said, breaking news, did you hear? They've added like 6 extra things onto his charges. I don't know. I don't want to prejudge anybody, but from what I've been seeing, now that all the different multiple camera angles have come out, looks like it was self-defense to me. You know, that's all I'm going to say. Looks like it was self-defense to me. Looks like he basically did what almost anyone would have done if they were in his position. And luckily for him, he was able to defend himself. So there you guys go. I don't know. I'm not just going to say he's innocent, and I guarantee it. Only because, again, I really do believe in due process of the law. This is in the founding documents. They have the right to do an investigation. But this works both ways, keep in mind. He has the right. He has the right to a fair and speedy trial. He has the right to a true, unbiased jury of his peers. And I think what's going to happen is once all of it shakes out, it's going to be pretty much proven. And the jury better get it right that this was actual completely legally, lawfully self-defense. If he kind of like stole the weapon from his dad, maybe that's a crime he committed that might be something totally separate. I don't know. I'm just hearing things. I'm just telling you guys things that I've heard, right? Maybe if there was a law against him crossing state lines with it, maybe that's something else, but maybe not. Maybe everything was totally fine. I don't know. I'm just telling you guys from what I saw with this crazy lynch mob just running after him, throwing objects at him, beating him with a blunt object, skateboard, and then the other guy, it's a completely proven fact, the guy that got half of his arm blown off, there was a pistol in his hand. Now, if that's not imminent threat, then I don't know what is. Had a pistol in his hand chasing after somebody that was clearly retreating, running away. He ran for hundreds and hundreds of feet. I don't know what the laws are in Wisconsin, but even if they are a retreat first state, if that wasn't retreating, then I don't know what was. Retreating until he was pinned down on the ground, getting hit with a blunt object by one person while the other person had, it appears to be a 9mm that was unholstered, drawn, and pointed. Like, again, he even retreated if that's even necessary. Some states you don't have to retreat at all. But so I don't know, man. That's literally the definition of cornering somebody from what I've seen. And I'd like to get some of you guys' opinion, you know. I don't know how he got, I don't know 100% how it got started. And I think more and more facts and camera angles and stuff are going to come out, okay? I really do. But I noticed they're now saying that the initial guy that got shot, that quote, like started it all off, probably wasn't even shot by Kyle, by somebody else. And then they all say, get him, and started running after him. That's what it seems like. I could be totally wrong. And if it comes out different than that a month later, everyone's going to come in here. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, hindsight's always 20/20. But there's a lot of people. A lot of people are putting, you know, out proper camera angles and all kinds of stuff. It's really, really showing, in my opinion, the full side of the story. Stuart Jackson, I pinned it up there so I wouldn't forget. Thanks for the super chat. He says, check out Mike Glover, American Contingency on YouTube. He's uniting patriots to help defend neighborhoods and sprout intel of unrest. It's getting big. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the suggestion. I can't necessarily endorse him because I don't know him, but definitely something I'm going to check out after the stream. I'll tell you that. VA Wolf says he had a firearm and all were former felons. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've got someone saying his friend gave him the gun. Again, there's going to be details that come out. I don't know, you know, how exactly, but yeah, Linda, you're right. He did say today, the guy said today he's sorry. He's sorry he actually didn't kill Kyle and do him in. I did see that. So that actually shows the guy's intent. The guy with the pistol that got his arm blown off, he did intend to kill Kyle. And after the fact, he's not only admitting but bragging about it. I did see that. Now, allegedly, that's what his friend is saying that he said. So this is according to the one felon's friend, the one that got his arm blown off. His friend is saying. So allegedly, he's saying that he bragged about the fact that he did want to kill him. So there you go. Don't need much more intent than that. That guy was attempting, sounds like first-degree murder on Kyle by his own words, not mine. Patty Leather saying Shannon Hennett is a 5-year-old white boy executed by a black man last week. No media coverage, no riots, no protests. Shannon's life matters. And I did hear about that story. I can't say no media coverage, but you're right. Very little. Basically none compared to all the other stuff. Tucker Carlson did do quite the segment on that. So I do actually know what you're talking about. That little boy's life matters too. Absolutely. All of your kids' lives matter. I mean, come on. That's just obvious, right? Should we even have to say this stuff? Yeah, JB and Water too. Trump sent me. Was it Trump or just some organization using his name? Anyways, Trump sent me an absent voter ballot app today. I think we should go make sure we all vote in person. What's your thoughts? Yes. I think we should vote in person. I voted in person during the primaries. I'm going to vote in person this time. It can all be rigged. That's true. And I do believe it's going to be rigged. I have no doubt. They're basically setting the stage so they can rig it. In my opinion, 99% of all this crap with this virus, this Kung flu, they call it many things, including that, right? I believe 99% of that is to rig this election. If you want to know the truth. Is it real? Does it exist on like a cellular level? Sure, it's real. Okay. And never let a good tragedy go to waste. One of the key marquee sayings of the Democrat Party and has been for a long time. So there you go. Take a little tragedy, blow it out of proportion, and use it for something like rigging the elections. Of course they would do that. Why wouldn't they do that? They do stuff like that all the time. That's probably the least of what they're doing to rig the election. So yeah, in my opinion, go vote in person if you want your vote to have a higher likelihood of counting. Nothing's guaranteed, but I believe there's probably 100 times better chance by going right into that ballot box right there, secured, like JB and Water saying, safe. He said that where he voted in the primary was safer than the store. There you go. Whereas if you just drop it in the mail, they're already finding people. This is happening all over the country. Like, of course this would happen. This is like so common sense, like, duh, right? They're already finding all these public mailboxes busted open, ballots taken out of them. I mean, then they go through them all, turn in the ones that they want to turn in. Republicans could be doing it too. I'll be fair enough. It could be Republicans and Democrats doing it. Anything's possible. I just have to note the fact that of all the different indictments that have happened for election fraud and voter fraud, it does happen to lean more towards one party than the other. I mean, that's just how it works, and I'm not even that diehard of a Republican, guys. With all that said, I think there's tons of rhinos in office that are, Republican in name only, that do not have our best interest. So don't take that for 1 minute that I'm like a complete apologist. That's not it at all, okay? I'm just saying, it does seem that it kind of leans one way when it comes to all this election fraud. Jonathan Todd, 180K dead is a bad flu season. Yeah, it is. It is. But what's your numbers? Have you checked those numbers, man? With all due respect, you can throw that number out there, but I know for a fact there's a case, and this is just one case of someone that died in a motorcycle accident. Violently died instantly, but they were of the flu. It was in them, and they counted that as a case. So, yeah, I'll just leave it at this. If there's really 180,000 that actually died of it, then you'd be absolutely right. But I'll emphasize the word if. And you can be mad at me if you want, dude. I'm just being polite, though. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying you guys can frame it how you want. Trust me. All right. Region 1 Resistance is saying the kid messed up as he drove from Illinois to Wisconsin. Put himself in the middle of a riot. He did not have gear on. I do know where you're heading with that. And you said, but you hope he gets off. I do know where he actually had no gear, though. He actually just showed up with a rifle and a sling. And from what I could tell, had zero, morale patches and all that. So. Oh, you're saying it's a low number. Okay, I got you. Jonathan. A lot of people that are, look, this shouldn't have to be this way, but it is politicized. I'm not trying to politicize it. I'm nobody. I'm not even capable of politicizing something like this. It just is, and I'm just talking about it. This has become the most political sickness there's ever been, and when politics get involved, there's lies, there's dang lies, and there's statistics. Mark Twain. There you go. You can make a number read whatever you want it to read. Now, I can't give you guys the real number. I get that. I just want you guys to think about it. This is literally the most politicized sickness I've ever seen, and I didn't politicize it. I was ticked off the minute I started seeing it politicized. Nasty, stupid. I can't stand it. But it is the reality of things, and they're using it to try to fundamentally change our elections. I'm just saying stuff that's true, guys. If you look, when have you seen so many mass ballots in your life? Like never. We fought through World War I. We fought through World War II. People still voted. And there is a process called absentee ballot where you can actually go through the effort to request a ballot, identify yourself. Now, that's okay because you actually requested the ballot, right? But when they just mass mail them and they're coming to people's cat, I saw a thing on TV. I think it was one of the TV programs where they said, I assume it's true. They had the person in real life holding it up. I think it might have been Tucker, where they said, this ballot showed up for our cat, and it was a good cat, a loving animal, but the animal died 12 years ago. So if they're mass mailing out ballots, including the dead, deceased cat of a dozen years ago, who else are they sending them to? How many are they sending? How easy can they be forged? By enemies, foreign or domestic? How easily could they be forged by somebody here in the United States? Or how easily could they be forged by China or many other countries? I don't know. I know China can take a Honda engine, Japan. They can take a Japanese engine and they can literally reverse engineer it so much, and even put the same casting marks in the parts where they're completely interchangeable with the Japanese version. You can't even tell the difference and it'll actually fit on it. What I'm saying is they can forge like three-dimensional aluminum, and electronic with circuitry items, they're master forgers. That's like what China specializes in, right? Is stealing people's intellectual property, making knockoffs, and selling it for cheaper. Can they forge a paper ballot? I'm not even going to go out on a tangent and guess. Yeah. Yeah. Duh. So there you go. There's all kinds of variables like that. Rudy Fenney, thanks for the super chat, dude. He said, those deaths are inflated, and if you can protest in person, you can vote in person. Great. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. That's an awesome analogy that kind of blew right by me. So much to talk about. Absolutely. Think about what he just said, guys. If you can protest in person, you can vote in person. These are both core fundamental rights, aren't they? The analogy's great, dude. If you can protest in person, you can vote in person. I'd like to see somebody use the science otherwise. Kyle has the right to protect himself just as any other. If I were there, I would have been armed as well. Yes. And I agree with you. The only debate I think we could have there, and I'm not even having this with you, I'm just bringing it up to offer the other side. I'm kind of, eyeballing the chat here out of the corner of my eye. Some people are saying, well, look, why was he even there? Why did he leave his state? Some say it was his dad's rifle that he borrowed. Some say he took it. Again, guys, this is speculative commentary. We're still ongoing with this, okay? But I've heard different things on how he got the rifle, right? So some people bring up the argument, why was he going there? Was he just looking for trouble? Maybe. I don't know. But as other people mentioned, I think I saw Linda said, well, he was just cleaning up graffiti earlier that day, okay? Just before. So, yeah, was he possibly going there to help clean up the town? I think that's probably more than likely if I had to guess. But that is a fair point. People are bringing it up saying, well, why the heck was he even there? Like, if he wasn't there, he would have never got himself in the situation. And I do get that side of the argument. I don't completely agree with it because, in my opinion, you should be able to go wherever you want. If you have a driver's license and it allows you to cross state lines, now, should you even need a driver's license? That's a totally separate argument. I'm not even saying you should need one, but if you accept that you have this driver's license, it's not restricted to your state. You can cross state lines for basically any reason you want. Why can't he go to another state? Really? People go across the whole world. They're called missionaries to help feed hungry people, take care of wounded, take care of disease. So if that's what he was doing from a humanitarian standpoint, going there to help injured people, help clean graffiti up, and that was his reason for going, and he carried a gun because he knew it could get violent, and then he was forced into self-defense, if that's all true, then yeah, of course he should walk. If he had other motivations and there was other things that he did first that we didn't see, well, maybe it should be different. But right now I'm leaning towards the first thing I said from what I'm seeing. From what I'm seeing, it looks like it was a pretty good kid that was going there to help people, knew he'd probably need some protection, brought the gun, and then indeed he did need the protection. In my opinion only, that's kind of how I'm seeing it as of right now. So... Chuck R says the Chinese gave us a taste of our own medicine like the American government did to the Native Americans, gave them wool blankets of smallpox. China did use with their goods laced with corona. You know what? You're not the first person that mentioned that. There's some sad things in American history, guys. There are. I just don't see any reason right now. Like, I don't need to be punished for the United States government doing that, and neither do you, Chuck, but you bring up a good point. It's interesting. It's something to think about. I'll just say that. There's definitely some scars in our nation's history. I'm not ever going to say that the United States has always been 100% perfect. No. And you know what? Native Americans have been persecuted against, and in many ways still are today. Of course, blacks have been persecuted against the United States, obviously, and still are today in many ways. But does that mean we need to turn into a communist, socialist country and put the name black on it? No, that's the problem I have with it. And if people would actually listen to what I have to say, they'd have a hard time conflating the two. But this is the internet, so people conflate. Not for 1 minute am I saying that the United States government, which historically was comprised with many white people, even though today not so much. There's all kinds of different colors of people, different genders, sexes, all kinds of stuff. Anything you could think of in Washington, D.C. is going on today. It's very, very mixed is what I'm saying. Does that mean that me and you and others today are doing it? Maybe, but doesn't mean all of us are, because I'll tell you what, 99.9% of us are not, first and foremost. And again, back to what I originally said. Is communism and socialism going to make it better for the minorities? I don't think so. And if you look back in history, look at what happened to minorities. Look at what happened to minorities of all kinds. Sexual minorities, racial minorities. Look at what happened to them under these regimes in the past. It's usually not so good. That's the irony in all of it. It's usually not so good at all. Rudy Fenny, thanks again, man. You're awesome, dude. I appreciate it. I'm going to have that hard drive in no time. I do need a hard drive, guys. That's no joke. I'm still struggling and sweating like crazy whether I can recover these files or not. It takes like days to run this program. But anyways, he says there are interviews with him from earlier that day. He was there to help protect a business and cleaning up. And those are the interviews I saw too, man. So again, from what I can tell so far, the kid's a hero, okay? From what I can tell so far. Was I literally there though? No. That's why I can't give you guys 100%. But I think you guys know where I lean on this, but I just want to be fair because I kind of said a couple things a while back about that George Floyd. And I said, look, guys, it looks like pretty much point blank the cop murdered him, right? And I meant it when I said it. But I kind of spoke, like everyone else was at the time, before the full tape came out. And then all 20 minutes of tape came out, or 30 minutes, whatever it was. Then the coroner's report comes out. He had like double or triple the lethal dose of fentanyl on his system. This dude was suffocating to death, like totally on his own. Do I still think that cop committed first-degree murder or second-degree murder or whatever on George Floyd? Actually, probably not, now that I look back. So on this whole Kenosha thing, I'm trying to say, look, guys, from what I see right now, because I don't look at myself as a news reporter. This is just an opinion show, just hanging out with you guys, right? But you'd be surprised. People will hold you to it real quick. They'll say, well, hey, look, dude. They'll come back in my video that I did a month and a half ago. And it did at that time when all they would release, no matter what network you looked at, it didn't matter which, even Fox News, which they say generally leans more conservative, all the way to CNN, you saw those same couple minutes of clips. Well, that's because the DA's office was hiding all of it. The government was keeping all of it hidden. And all you could see back then did make that cop look like he literally probably killed somebody. Did he maybe still? Maybe, but not. It's not as black and white as what it was before, now that all of it's come out. So with this whole Kyle from Kenosha, I'll leave it at this. And then I'm going to go through and answer some of you guys' questions. Does it look like it was an innocent, clean self-defense? Yes. Could there be stuff that comes out in the next month to make it where I look like an idiot saying that? Yes. I wasn't there. There could be some evidence and tape that's missing and being hidden. So I'll leave it at that. But as of right now, he looks like a hero to me, quite frankly. So, let's see here. Joe Morgan says, here, we treat everyone the same, save for California, who gives us trouble. Well, some people want California to be a different country. It's an interesting conversation, both ways you look at it. But there are many people from California itself say they do want to be a different country. Yeah, Sean Morrissey, Nick Salmon's lawyer, Lynn Wood, has taken Kyle's case for free, yes. He would not do that if Kyle had done anything wrong. You know what? I don't know if she's still hanging out in here, but my wife, my beautiful wife, she's totally awesome, by the way. We were talking, and I said, look, all this stuff coming out, I think he's innocent. And you know what was mainly going through my head? When Matt Christensen came on my show last night, and he said, hey, man, did you hear? It's breaking, blah, blah, blah. 6 more charges piled on. He's got the same lawyer as Sandman does. And I'm like, you know what? That's Lynn Wood. He's like, yep. I'm like, dude, if it's Lynn Wood, he's innocent. Because you know why Lynn Wood is like the best lawyer ever and never loses a case? Never loses a case because he does some good pre-screening. He doesn't represent guilty people just for the money. He represents innocent people and makes sure that they don't get subject to the mob and to all the modern day lynchings that are happening. The old-fashioned lynch mob, chasing somebody down the street and then using the court of public opinion to hang them high in life sentences in prison, which I believe is mob rule, and that's what they're trying to do. So, yeah, You're right, man. Thanks for bringing that up. When I saw Lynn Wood was on it, but again, I'm still only going to say probably. There's more. There could be that extra camera angle that comes out. You guys know what I'm saying? Boy, did they sure do a good job completely hiding all of the facts with that George Floyd, Saint Floyd, whatever you want to call him. Did I want George Floyd to die on its face? No, of course not. I don't want anybody to die. But I'm not the one that told him to take 4 times the lethal dose of crystal meth and other things and completely and utterly not even give the cops a chance to coddle him. Quite frankly, those cops coddled this man for 20 minutes. They said, all right, we'll put you in the car with the air conditioning on, with the windows down. If I did something worthy of getting arrested, they'd say, get on the ground, scumball, and hit me over the head with the back of a mag light. They literally, quite frankly, coddled the man for the longest time. And then physically at a certain point, it was like, we just have to hold him down. I don't know. A lot changed when I saw all that evidence. I'll just say that. A lot changed. Let's see here. Alan Kenosha says, it's nice to see you're not afraid to speak what you believe and then admit a couple months later you may have been wrong. Nobody does that. That's why I like listening to you, and you're not afraid to speak. Well, thanks, man. And I might be blushing a little bit when I do it, but yeah, I mean, I had to admit to you guys, I might have been a little bit wrong on that. But I was using the best knowledge that I had. But that's why I'm just trying to learn from this, you know? Everybody has. I try to look at stuff objectively, right? But I'm not a judge, okay? So I don't have to look at this from a courtroom, okay? I'm just an opinion guy hanging out with friends online. A nobody, right? I'm a nobody just like the rest of you. We're all very special and we're all nobodies. And that's what makes us absolutely unique, right? We're uniquely nobodies and I love it. But I'm just sitting here thinking to myself and I'm like, you know what? I want this Kyle to be the next hero. Like, I want, but I have to step back. And I'm like, you know what? The old government, that district attorney could be holding that key piece. And you know what? People aren't polite with me about this stuff, and that's fine. I could care less, really. I mean, people can be polite or rude, and if they hate me that bad, I don't know why they still watch, but whatever. So people have gotten pretty nasty with me that I was on, the record, even though I'm just hanging out with friends. I don't go on the record, guys, but whatever. And I said, yeah, no doubt did that cop commit murder of George Floyd. And that was, well, look, a month ago, you couldn't have proven me wrong when I said it. When I found out the info, yeah, I take a lot back on that. Yep, I take a lot back on that. And I'm going to try not to be so quick to judge anybody going forth, but we have opinions. And it's stuff we should be talking about, though, because what's going to happen if one of you, what if you didn't travel across state lines? What if one of you right now hears a noise and you're listening to the 2A EDU stream? You're like, hold on, mama, turn down the TV. I hear something outside. And you look, and there's droves of gangs that resemble wild animals, wielding weapons, burning, pillaging, killing. I mean, these guys are literally jumping and rolling around on top of each other in the street. It's like very, very just like primitive level behavior going on out there in the streets. And you see that. And you didn't have to jump in your car and you didn't have to cross state lines. This is like, oh, shoot, I've got enough time to grab this rifle, sling it, and come out the front door because there's a guy holding a Molotov cocktail and he just threw it at my neighbor's house and the mob's only 30 foot away from mine. What do? That's why we talk about stuff like Kyle from Kenosha. Because, yeah, it's about Kyle, of course. Kyle from Kenosha. I mean, he's like literally like the meme capital of the internet right now. But this is applicable to real life. What are you guys going to do? Well, it looks like if you do come out and you defend yourself, there's a very good chance you'll be up on 16 or 17 different murder charges simultaneously. It looks like that even if you live to fight another day, you're going to have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people online that were going to wish you were dead and are going to make death threats on you. Yeah. For me even sticking up for Kyle, I'm probably already have people threatening me right now that I haven't read. And if not, they no doubt will the next day. But these are things that kind of set precedents. And this can go one way or it can go another. So was Kyle the day that set the precedence that, yes, you can defend yourself with lethal force when other people are, quite frankly, trying to kill you, and we find out the next day with intent, allegedly, according to the guy's best friend. Oh, yeah, he really wished he would have killed Kyle. Just by the photographs alone, you can see him with the 9 in his hand. You can see the other guy with the skateboard. Hands and feet. Hands and feet kill more people each year than AR-15s do. That's a fact. Not my facts. FBI, Crime Bureau statistics. Hitting somebody with a skateboard or just kicking them. That super flying drop kick, mall ninja looking kick that the guy luckily missed. That kills people. That's real. That's lethal force. Not to mention when there's dozens and then possibly hundreds of people doing it. Does Kyle set precedence that you can defend yourself with lethal force against lethality, loss of life, loss of limb? Irreparable damage is what it reads in a lot of state statutes. Did he set the precedence where, yeah, you can do that? You can do it. That's what, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Is that what that means when it says shall not be infringed? That you can protect yourself when one dude's got a gun, one's got a skateboard, the other's trying to kick you in the head, and there's hundreds of other people running down the street in droves? Is that what it says when you're endowed by your creator? And among these is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Does Kyle have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Do you have the right to that? Do you have the right to your home being burned down or not burned down? And do you have the right to exercise the Second Amendment and defend your house and your family and your property and your loss of life and limb? Do you have the right to defend that? That's what this Kyle from Kenosha is all about. What's going to happen here? Is he going to be an American hero as it gets told through the sands of time? Or is he going to be the beginning of what it means to be able to defend yourself? And are we no longer going to be able to defend ourselves in public? Can you no longer defend yourself against people of a certain political party? What's going to happen here? So that's why everybody's on so much edge about this and watching to see what's going on. This could be what they call a benchmark case. This could be something that establishes precedent, both in the actual court systems and in the court of public opinion. And the court of public opinion can mean a lot more in a lot of cases than what the actual courts themselves say. Because I don't really believe that the courts should have all the power they have. Quite frankly, there's been too much legislating from the bench and political crap with them for years and years and years. And the Supreme Court is going to be pathetic that they won't even hear a Second Amendment case. They've rejected dozens of them recently. It's only the Second Amendment, like, oh, geez, we have this little teeny thing called the Bill of Rights, and it's number 2, and you don't even want to acknowledge it. Yeah, I'm getting sick of that too, guys. I really am. It's enumerated for those that went to public schools, which means actually written, typeset in English, translated to Spanish or any other language you may speak, but originally written in English. Second Amendment. What's that mean? Means many things to many people, but to me it only means one thing. It means exactly what was written, and there's nothing about it that's changed over the last 240, almost 250 years. So that's my opinion on that. Kyle had just as much right today as what the founding fathers did when Paul Revere said the redcoats are coming, and they were coming after their magazines, they called them, which held all their ammunition and powder depots, right? They were going to confiscate their guns. And they knew it. If we let them confiscate it, it's over. You have to remember, those were considered felons. Those were considered treasonous. Those were traitors at that time because they were still British citizens and subjects when they did that. So we've had people that have gone down as the biggest heroes of all time in this country. Literally, these are our American heroes. Remember, they were all doing something that the court of public opinion didn't necessarily like, because the vast majority of the people in the colonies were Tories at that time. More people were Tories, meaning actually sided with the Brits and had their loyalties there than they did to starting this new republic, experiment on self-governance of the people, by the consent of the people, that the government would only be in place up until it was contrary to those means and then it should be abolished. You know, that government called the United States of America. What's Kyle going to be? I don't know. We'll wait for all the facts to come out about Kyle specifically, but the bigger issue really does come down to that. Do we have a true Second Amendment anymore, or has it been relegated as a second-class right, as some people have said? Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, said, I'm sick and tired of seeing the Second Amendment treated as a second-class right. The ability of self-defense, to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this whole Kyle thing, the facts of his specific things are very, very important, but there's kind of the figurative Kyle too. What are you going to do when they come to your house, when they're in your neighborhood? I know what I'm going to do. I think a lot of you guys are probably answering me in the comments right now what you would do. Rudy Fenney, thanks for the super chat, man. He said, come on, man. Corn Pops is a bad dude. Oh, I need to go get a chainsaw chain and have that ready. What did he say? He come at him with a chain and he had to, Corn Pops. Hey, that's the presidential candidate. That's the presidential candidate that many, many people are supporting. Let's see here. Some of you guys are saying you hope he's justified. Let's see here. Sean Morrissey says, Kyle was also defending the local people who asked for people to come protect them because the county governor was not doing his job. Okay, there you go. People were asking for help. He came and helped. Yeah. Matthew Melton, what do you think will happen if and when Kyle is found not guilty? Chaos and more riots in the street? Which there's already chaos and riots in the street. More burning, pillaging, death. That's what I think will happen, if you want to know my honest opinion. I think that's what will happen. All right. Let me just see who's hanging out in here. We've got Joe Shanks in the house. Jonathan Todd saying he'll literally be a lefty now. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wilhelm Scream says, I used to skate. I saw 2 kids bust some guy over the face with one. Those things can mess someone up bad. So there you go. He's confirming what my common sense would tell me. A skateboard, that's potentially a deadly weapon, especially when that is used in conjunction with violent mob that's ensuing and encroaching. Josh Benware, what's happening, man? How you doing? He says, Kyle's an outstanding young man. He did a great job. I'm very proud of that young man. You know what, dude? That's what I'm leaning towards either, and that's where my heart is. Before I completely and utterly make my final decision, I want to wait till all the tape's out. I was a little bit wrong on that police officer with George Floyd, Josh. I don't know if you just now came in or if you've been listening, but I had to eat a little crow on that, guys, and I'm more than willing to. I kind of judged that officer because I only watched 2 minutes of the tape. Now, it didn't help that the DA was hiding that and being dishonest and telling us it was the complete footage, but it wasn't. You guys know what I'm saying. Joe Morgan says, no matter what happens, I'm going out swinging. If it's my time, it's my time. I hear you, man. JB and Water 2 says, they're not your friends if they don't agree without new evidence. We all make mistakes, and to admit makes you human. Well, thanks, man. And I don't know. Look, guys, I don't have time to dwell on the negative people. I just say all of you guys are my friends because all of you that I care about are my friends. There's nasty people on YouTube. But when I'm doing these streams and I'm talking to you all, really, I'm not even talking to those people just because they're kind of insignificant. Not because they're not people. They can listen. Hopefully they get something great from the video. I just don't have time to deal with people that threaten and hate over me just being on here trying to have fun and be myself and just trying a little bit, doing my little teeny part. And trust me, I'm not being conceited. I know I'm not going to get anywhere, but I'm just trying to help save our country just a teeny bit. You know what I'm saying? And I hope you guys are all doing the same thing, because I truly believe that if any of us can just help out 2, 3, 4, 5 people, even one other person, we've done a little bit. I'll tell you what, if half of the people in this country literally were able to influence one person to make things right, we have a perfect country. Think about it that way. If just half the people, and I don't mean that you want them to clone you, don't conflate what I'm saying here, but if you could just kind of help make one thing right with one person, if half the people in the country are able to do that, we'd have a lot more harmony and a lot less problems, wouldn't we? And notice what I say. I just want to end this stupid chaos in the streets. This is like third world animals. Let's either do this. Let's either get it over with so fast that it won't happen again for another 240 years, or let's just lay off and act like civilized human beings. One of the two. Notice what I advocate for. I said, get a hold of good people. Go play cards together. Go have dinner together. Go march together. Go have peaceful protests together. I've never advocated once, nor will I, that you go out there and just try to start trouble just to watch it burn. I don't agree with that. Now, there's been people argue with me, and they brought up some points saying, no, it is good just to watch it burn. Okay, that's not me, though. I don't want that. If it comes time to do it, though, just do it. Do it quick and get it over with. Hit the reset button. 240 more years, I guess. I mean, some of the founding fathers said that really a country like this can only go about 200 years, and it's gone past its expiration date. It's kind of hoping we can stretch it a little bit further than that, seeing how I'm still alive right now and all my loved ones are, but we'll see. But to go out there and try to get everyone to think like you with violence, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's what this is. That's what this is. Now, I saw somebody earlier in the comments. I don't know if they're here anymore. Doesn't really matter to me. But they said, no, the Bolshevik Revolution was just good people helping to feed people. Oh, really? Well, that's fake news, and that's wrong. And that's what people will try to tell you. They'll tell you all kinds of stuff. I mean, I bet you the fear of that Reich that was going to last 1,000 years. There's probably a picture of him kissing a baby somewhere, too. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. If Bolsheviks and Marxists and communists, if their only goal is just to feed hungry people and that's it, then go back, because I'll cite my sources. Go back and look up Mao. His name's Chairman Mao. And look at what he did with the mass famine and starvation. I mean, besides the fact that he starved out 30 million people in 26 years, starved them to death. Besides that, he was mostly just feeding hungry people. You see that? Some little commie punk idiot comes into the chat and literally after I exposed CNN, mostly peaceful protest. Besides the $6 million in burning, looting, the 6 deaths, the 45 people in the hospital. Besides that, it was mostly peaceful. And there's someone that literally has the audacity to come in and say, well, all this communism and Marxism and Bolsheviks, all the Bolsheviks were is just trying to feed people. Yeah. Until Mao starved out 30-something million people. Oh, besides that, just minor little inconvenient truth to debunk your lies. Besides that, yeah, it was just about, I mean, they did feed one person, though. They fed one person. And as long as they fed one person, they fed their leader high on the hog. As long as they fed them, it was fine that Mao starved out everybody else. You guys see what's going on here? Happens on the fake news. I don't want to say it happens, but it attempts to happen in the 2AEDU chat. They were just feeding hungry people. If it could just save one life. Yeah, except for all the statistics overwhelmingly prove that where there's more guns, there's less crime. And guns save lives probably over 100 million times a year in this country. Save life or irreparable loss, damage, rape. They won't mention that. But if it'll just save one life at the expense of 1 million other people, it's worth it. This euphoric utopia of lies, and murder, and death. If it just saves one life. One of the most dishonest, disingenuous arguments I've ever heard. And the stats are out there, guys. The stats are out there. Look at death. Look at the numbers. And you even try to look up the numbers of Mao, Stalin, Mussolini, many others. It's always like, well, we believe it was this many people, but probably an untold amount more because they hid their records so well and burned so many of their records these other countries did. You'll probably never even know. As terrible as it is, it's probably so much worse than we'll ever even know. But we do know that it was tens of millions and hundreds of millions of people. But don't worry. He held the baby up one time, so it's all good. He fed himself pretty well when he was in power. They were just feeding people. Don't buy into it. Let's see here. Josh Benware with a super chat. Thanks a lot, dude. He says, Kyle versus State of Wisconsin. The right of a 17-year-old to possess a long gun in situations of civil unrest equals the only case that should be happening. See, and that's the thing, too. There are actual laws like that do literally state these certain provisions where it'll say, hey, under these narrow set of circumstances, or sometimes broad, just totally depends on the country, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me see here. Tim J. I just want to make sure I didn't miss one in between because the chat's scrolling by quick. You guys are talking a lot tonight. There's three things you guys could be talking about here. Okay. A, you guys are just having your own awesome conversations, which is what I love about this place. I could just kind of like, maybe you guys have got me on mute and you guys are, this is what I mean by community. When I say like people getting together, go play cards together, have lunch together, maybe some of you want to pray together or not. This is the United States, religion or not, whatever you want to do, right? Well, look at this stream. There's a lot of fellowship in this stream going on, and so you guys are either all doing that. That's why the chat's going a mile a minute, or probably not. We agree with you, 2AE to you, or the commies found this stream and they're completely trying to shout me down, and that would be hilarious. Tim J with the super chat. Thanks a lot, man. He says, we all need to stick together and get through these times. Yes, we will be better in the end. We will be united again in the USA. It takes tough times to come together. The mob will lose. And I thank you for that encouragement. And I hope all of you guys get encouragement from that because that is what I want to happen. And I do believe will happen. And I'm going to miss the quote, so I'm not even going to try to remember it. But there's a quote like how good times end up making weak men-ish. If somebody knows the quote, put it in the chat. It's a really good one. And that kind of encompasses what Tim's saying here. If it's too good for too long, people kind of just get complacent and weak and whatever. Well, things aren't good right now. So stick together. We'll get through it, and we'll be better in the end. But the important part is this. Without Tim's first sentence, none of the rest is going to be true. So that's what we're going to emphasize here anyway. Stick together. We have to stick together. I even said it in my last video. I took a little excerpt from my stream with Matt last night, and I just made it into a little 7-minute video. Maybe redundant for some of you guys. I apologize, but hey, some people, no matter how good it was, don't want to watch an hour stream. Some people like 7 minutes. So I just grabbed that part of it pertaining because I wanted someone else's perspective on the ammo shortage. But I said at the very end of that video, and I meant it, we need to stick together. When you guys are saying, I found this deal on 9, this deal on 223, share it with each other. Seriously. If you guys aren't going to be there for each other now, then when are you going to be? So, and here's the thing, I see it so much, and it's just so encouraging. So, yes, we definitely need to stick together, and I think we will. Who just said Lamy rocks? BJ Holcomb. Yeah, shout out to Lamy, of course. I mean, come on. How could you say anything bad? I mean, you guys really want to know the reason why nobody truly messes with me on here? Because of Lamy. Because of his armed security detail. With his half-track tank with a mod deuce on the front and like 16 other machine guns. Duh. They ain't going to mess around with me, so don't worry about it, guys. I've got Lamy here for a fact. Who is Corn Pop? Gabriel says. Oh, go back and just look up Corn Pop. Corn Pop Joe Biden. Just another one of his many, many gaffes. Corn Pop. Ah. Alan says, with all the bad things happening in the country, Joe Biden is a hero. He continues to look stupid and give the rest of us something to laugh at, to take our minds off the serious issues for a while. You know what? In the here and now, I actually agree with you. Now, if he actually gets elected, whew, we won't be laughing, but there's no way. There's no way, is there? Corn Pop? Corn Pop 2020, guys. Terry Grossman. I like that. What do you guys think? I told you there's some smart people in here. I like the way you think, Terry. Because see, Remington right now, lots of mismanagement with Remington Freedom Group, trust me. But amongst their financial problems while they're going bankrupt, is being sued for that Sandy Hook school. What do you guys think? That's interesting. Can the manufacturer of skateboards be sued, seeing how Democrats feel the firearm manufacturer can be sued? It's not all Democrats. I know a few Democrats that don't go that way, but I get that. Awesome comment, man. Awesome comment. Democrat means different things now. See, we still got some people out there that are Democrats that aren't completely crazy. But that doesn't take away from the whole gist of what you're getting at. The question is, can the manufacturer of the skateboard be sued? Well, my real answer is no, of course not, but neither should have Remington. But since Remington was able to be sued, and the state Supreme Court said so, right, in Connecticut, then absolutely, at least in the state of Connecticut, the skateboard company should definitely be able to be sued by precedent, if you call it that. It's called precedent, guys. I think a lot of stuff's messed up with our courts, so don't take me too far on that. But if you want to go by it, that's what it would mean. Michael Fultz, $10. Thanks a lot, man. He said, challenging times are an opportunity for us to grow and make the U.S. a better place. I agree, and good to know that you're practically my neighbor, man. See, I told you guys there's good people all around you. Whitmore Lake, are you kidding me? It's not far at all from here. We're talking like, what, 5 to 7 minutes? 10 minutes? You know, there's a lake there. Depends which way you're driving around the lake. We'll say this time of night, 10 minutes. So, yeah, nice to see you, neighbor. Are you guys networking down in this chat? I know I always suggest it. Is there anybody in here that's saying, hey, you know, Virginia, getting a hold of each other? You know what's crazy? I just said that. I can't even make this up. Dave Harris at VA Wolf. You want my email? Okay, that answered that question. Yeah, Gerhard Silva. I heard Creepy Joe sniffs children. Well, you can see that on. I've heard the same thing, dude. Chris Bildit's in the house. What's happening, man? Another Michigan guy here. What's up, dude? Oh, that's a neat picture you have. It blows up a lot bigger once you doing some tool and die work, I see. Ooh, Lamy crushes my deuce in the syrup like it's his job. A-dubs. Heck yeah, man. I know. It's hard for me to keep this stuff in stock. It keeps disappearing, dude. I told you they're dating, right? I told you guys this like a month ago. They're dating. They're a couple. The problem is I'll go to bed for the night. Even if it was a short night's sleep, it doesn't matter. If I leave for 3 hours, it doesn't matter if I leave for 8 hours. I come back, and the bottle's like completely empty and like destroyed and basically unrecognizable. So, yeah, it's hard for me to, A-dubs, it's hard for me to keep this stuff in stock. Trust me. But like I said, Aunt Jemima's good people. Mommy's good people. And hey, good people want to hook up. It's a good thing. Good people and good syrups and llamas. You know, I mean, I'm using people in the very broad sense, but you know what I'm saying. Rod Brown, where do you apply for a skateboard open carry permit? I don't know, actually. No, there is a rabbit hole to go down, isn't there, with all of this? There's a big rabbit hole. Uh, Lewis Thompson says, how do I donate? If you're talking about to this channel, there's a couple ways. There's the super chat, which is through YouTube. I have Subscribestar and Patreon accounts. And here's another way you guys can help me. And I don't feel bad. I'm going to actually ask you guys for something. But since it costs you nothing, I don't feel bad. All the donations are awesome, but I'm never going to ask. But this I am going to ask. If you guys think about it, go hit my Amazon affiliate link. It's in the description of all my videos. It costs you nothing. It's this simple. You click on it. It'll take you to the 2A EDU store. You could see something in there you like, but you can just click right past that. Use it like you normally would. So it's called an affiliate. You click on it. Go buy everything you normally would on Amazon. A small percentage does go back to the channel, and it's helping me keep everything going. I don't get free guns. I don't get free ammo. You guys totally, totally love that because I don't have to tell you that everything's perfect because I didn't have to sign a contract. See, I'm not going to tell you who does it or who doesn't, but that's the little secret out there. A lot of these guys get a free gun, but to get it for free, they have to sign something saying, in exchange for a positive review, I'll take the gun and this much cash. And there's different variables. And many of the gun YouTubers don't do this, and they're completely honest. So I'm not trying to paint in broad strokes. But no, I pay for all of it. So that Amazon link alone is helping me. And I do need to go on Amazon actually and buy a couple hard drives. I had one hard drive. It wasn't enough. I'm using this recovery software trying to recover it bit by bit, piece by piece. And when I do, it's going right into a RAID array. So I appreciate it, guys. I know it's not as fun to talk about, and you guys are going to see something that happens here soon. I'm actually going to do a review on a gun that I really like. And I actually recorded it. I just had to finish the editing, but I'm going to knock it on one thing I didn't like. And that's because I was able to buy it with my own money. And of course, you guys' help. In other words, nobody was making me review it in any type of way. And I took a knock at it for one thing that I stand by. But other than that, it's a pretty good gun. Can't touch anymore, but it takes this magazine. I like most of it, but there's just one thing about it I can't stand. And you guys will see that video very soon, actually. So, man, I got on a long rant tonight. There's still a few people in here. I said Q&A in the thing. It wasn't clickbait, guys. These streams just act organically. If you guys do have questions, I'd like to answer them. I've been talking a long time. I'm just going to step out for 5 minutes, guys. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'll come right back and start looking at the chat. If you have any questions, type in @2AEDU. I'll come back and answer your questions. If you guys are wondering, like, the different 9mm I like, that's definitely in the title too. And I'm going to tell you right now. G3C, awesome. Stoeger STR9, awesome. Zagana PX9, awesome. G2C and G3, awesome. G3C is kind of my favorite of the three, though, just to let you guys know. Those are kind of my go-tos. Now, many, many others. I'm just telling you some newer ones I've been into. Canik TP9 SFX is still sitting here in the box. I've been dying to shoot it, but I want to do an unboxing for you guys. So I'll be back in just 5 minutes, guys. So if you have any questions, I definitely wanted to give you guys a chance because I put it in the title. I wanted to sit and just answer questions. And then I started thinking about Kenosha. And I started thinking about these you-know-whats. And it got me kind of fired up. So I went on an old-fashioned rant for about an hour straight. And I'll be right back, guys. All right. Did you guys have any questions for me? I see another Michigan person in here, Michelle LeDuc. Welcome from Michigan. Just taking a quick peek at my phone as I was walking back here. All right, let me see if there's any actual questions for me. I know you guys send me emails and stuff asking me questions, which is cool, but if you ask it here, that's even better because there might be 10 people with the same question, you know? Let's see here. Okay, you guys are talking about FFLs. Yep, federal firearms license, basically a gun shop or someone who is licensed to sell or transfer firearms. And the government has opined on that and said, generally, I'm no lawyer, look it up for yourself. But if you're just selling firearms to further your collection or change your collection, or if you're just getting out of guns altogether, you can sell. That's fine. But if the primary focus is for you to be using it as a source of income, a regular income, that's when an FFL is appropriate and according to public statutes, legally necessary, right? So I know that was actually pretty clearly defined by the Obama administration. So there you go. Let's see here. Yeah, there's people that come in this stream and just have no other reason than to cause problems. Some people are just joking around. You guys can have fun. But look, guys, it's not a matter of freedom of speech. The First Amendment says Congress shall pass no law. Okay? First of all, I'm not Congress, and I don't want Congress to pass any laws. But what happens is if people are typing too much in caps locks, and they just type everything in caps, it's basically them shouting over everyone else. And I want this to be a chill thing where when I look down at the comments, I see, at least have a chance of seeing everybody's comments fairly equally, right? So as much as the one person wants to type in all caps, let's just say hypothetically, is that fair to the guy before them that just typed normally, right? So it's kind of just become, ever since I've been on the internet, just kind of a code of ethics. Don't type in all caps. Don't spam with excessive emojis. YouTube does have a provision if you want your thing to be highlighted and put on top with a bright color behind it. It's called a super chat, which you don't have to do, but that is something they offer. So yeah, I just want a little bit of order in here. I don't want this chat just to turn into like a spam fest, because those end up being the streams that kind of go to heck because it's not much fun for anyone else, the chill people who just want to, say something normal. So, yeah, that's basically my thing with the caps locks and all that stuff. I'm just kind of skimming through here. Yeah, there is a service that helps with a little bit of that you guys can see, but that's, again, just to try to maintain just a little bit of order. Maybe you guys, maybe some of you, I have no idea what your intentions are, like to have 26 people in your living room hooting and hollering and hanging from the chandeliers, and that may be a good old time. That's fine. I'm a little more chill than that. I don't like everyone screaming and yelling at the top of their lungs, and that's basically what caps locks means, is shouting. So yeah, it's just kind of normal chat etiquette, really. I didn't think I'd have to go over it in this day and age, but that's just kind of, just a little bit of etiquette. Here's the big difference, though. Yeah, the First Amendment, nobody's a stronger proponent of that than me, but if you want to sit and use all caps locks, that's fine. You're not going to get a fine from me, and anyone that would fine you for that would be draconian and tyrannical. That's not me. It's just you're not welcome to do that here. That's all. So does that kind of sum it up? Matthew Mountain says, have I checked out Biden's plans for guns? Scary stuff. Yeah, very, very scary stuff. Basically, he's gone all the way to the left, and as far as I can tell, basically wants all of them. They call it buyback, which you can't buy back something that you never owned, but I digress. Matt talked about that a little bit on my stream last night. Speaking of Matt, 2A Hawaiian shirts. Yeah, I put out a little Facebook post and tweet where I'm like, when one of your favorite YouTubers shows up on your stream wearing a Boogaloo shirt. That was pretty fun, wasn't it? Did all you guys see the stream from last night? What did you guys think? I thought it was a really good time. I had a great time hanging out with all you guys and Matt, and he has a good channel. I'm definitely looking forward to his live stream Sunday night. I'll be over there. On the arm, need a two-way hat and shirt. I'm working a ton. My governor, tyrannical governor, she had the whole state shut down. I got a real late start. I'm really busy working a lot, guys. When I get just a little time, when the seasons kind of change a little bit, I'll have a few of these things available if you guys are interested. You guys are talking about, looks like fentanyl a little bit. Okay. Jonathan Todd says, being that Chinese fentanyl kills 180 Americans a day, would you consider that chemical warfare? If they dropped a chlorine bomb, it surely would be. That's interesting. Yes and no. But more yes than no, if that makes any sense. Braster made a comment that kind of helps sum it up a little bit. He says, being that Chinese fentanyl kills 180 Americans a day. I'm sorry. That's what Jonathan Todd said. Where's Braster's thing at? It just skipped on me. Okay. He says, without the unconstitutional drug war, fentanyl wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, that's more of a libertarian point of view. Do I think all these hard drugs should be completely legal? No, but, hold on. The official war on drugs that Braster's talking about has probably resulted in more drug problems in the end. So I'm not a big fan on the quote-unquote the war on drugs, which that's a thing that actually, was declared. But I'm not a big fan of hardcore drugs just being on the street either, quite frankly, okay? Here's the problem. What it really comes down to is the federal government or the government is really just not good at anything they do. If you really, really think about it, all they're supposed to do is protect our God-given rights, our rights that were endowed by our Creator. If they could just protect those and not tread on those, we'd probably be just fine. And that's really my real view on it. Seems like every time they get in there and make more laws, they're just messing with stuff more, making things worse. Let's see here. I'm trying to get to these guys. Wolf, did I read your question? Let me try to find it here. Troll 22001. Classic has both the Taurus G3C and the G3. What do you think are the high points of each? I recorded a versus video, guys. Had it in the queue to get released. Took me probably an hour to make the video, and I had it condensed down to about 20 minutes. It's currently on a hard drive that I'm going through sector by sector trying to recover. So, hopefully the video, G2C versus G3C, will be out soon. And I say that with kind of a little bit of it's kind of a sore subject. I know you didn't know that, so I appreciate the question. I like the G3C a little more, if you want a real quick answer from me. I like the G2C a lot still. I'm not getting rid of them by any means. I have two of them. I like the G3C a little more. Biggest difference right off the bat, trigger. Sights. I actually don't like the sights that come on the G3C as much as the G2C, but the fact that they're Glock sights means there's a million different options, so that's cool. The texture's a little rougher on the G3C. I actually like the texturing, the level of grittiness, if you will, of the G2C a little better. But in the end, the trigger's just so much better on the G3C that gets the win for me, if you just want me to sum it up quickly. The finish is better on it. I'm having a hard time finding your question, VA Wolf. There's a lot of chat going in here. Barrier Island, man, Trump has hundreds of sea patrol boats arresting drug running boats. And that's a good thing to keep it out of the country. I totally agree with that. The war on drugs, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about here, this isn't like the war on drugs is just a case of bureaucracy getting in there and getting something that's probably an otherwise noble cause, something that I support the gist of it. It's just the way they execute this stuff in the end. They end up messing up more than what they helped. And that's just kind of the nature of a big bloated government. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying, guys. I don't want drugs. I don't do any drugs at all, guys. If you guys do, that's your business, but I don't. So I'm not wanting any drugs. I just think the federal government kind of sucks when they have any major social programs. JB and Water saying, look at Denmark now. where the problem with what we have, you're going to have to be a little more specific than that. I don't know if you mean from an economical standpoint. I certainly don't agree with Denmark's tax policies. I don't want to be taxed like Denmark. Let's see here. BJ Holcomb, is anybody Cerakoting their guns? I usually don't do that kind of thing, but I think a lot of people do. Yeah, Mateo says Canics are nice. I just wish Century wasn't the importer anymore. True. I had a guy send me an email, and if you're here today, man, I feel for you. He said, I've got a Canic, and before I'm going to carry it, I need to get something fixed here. It has lots of misfires. I'm assuming when he says misfire, he means click, no bang. That's kind of what a misfire is, but I was like, dude, you're going to have to call Century for your warranty. That's not necessarily a good thing. Century's warranty customer service, I personally have not had the best experience with. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, too. As much as I like their guns, and I still think it's worth it because I know this going in, Taurus has really crappy customer service most of the time, too, guys. Really, really long waits. They'll make you pay the shipping to return your gun. I get that. Mine have been so darn good, though, and I like the ergonomics of them so much that I kind of thought to myself a while ago, I could buy 2 of these for the price of another brand. So I guess if mine takes a crap and I have to send it back, I'll just buy a second one, not really be out any money, and then when the other one comes back, I'll double up. I know that sounds like a stupid strategy, but if they're half price, you know what I'm saying, right? At least a little bit. But no, Taurus's customer service is not the best. I've called them just to get information for videos I was doing on the channel, just trying to find out basic information. And I'll be honest with you, they were very unforthcoming. They did not really give me anything that I wanted. Weren't even necessarily polite about it. I've had a couple people there that just politely said, I don't know what you're talking about. A couple other people told me to pound sand. And this was just me politely asking, saying, hey, this is 2AEDU on YouTube. Who? Well, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm gathering content for a story. I'm doing a review on your pistols, and here's some questions people have had. And I'll tell you one of them specifically. People kept on asking me, what's the material of the barrel on the G3C? I said, well, I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere. Like, I can't find it in writing anywhere. So I called the manufacturer. I said, gathering content for a story. I'd like to know, to answer questions my viewers have. And I even let them know, we're big fans of your product on the channel. Many viewers are. But there was a time about a year ago when hundreds of people, it seemed like, were asking me, what's the actual barrel made out of? Because people advertise, chrome moly barrel. Okay. Is it cold hammer forged? Is it button rifled? All these different things people wonder. And no, Taurus would not tell me what the barrel's made out of. And I called like 3 separate times, just hoping I'd get a different customer service rep. And a couple of them politely said, barrel? It's steel. And I said, well, I know, but can you find out a little more than that? Can you get a hold of someone that knows and contact me back? And it was either a polite version of, I don't even know what to say, sir. Like, I just have a nice day. Or, no, we're not going to tell you what our barrel is made out of. Is there anything else we can help you with? Well, not at this time. But before I could even say but, I was already hung up on. So there you go. And people are going to tell me that Century has the best customer service, which they're saying right now. So there you go. You guys will have to find out on your own. But I'm going to tell you from my experience, it's not been the best customer service for either Century or Taurus. Now, I'll tell you what, I don't really like their guns. To be honest with you, I own a couple. I'm not shaming you if you do, but High Point. I just don't like the ergonomics of them. They're way too big for how little rounds they take, but they're cheap, and poor people should have just as much of a right to keep and bear arms as rich people. So for that, I love High Points. They're just not physically my favorite gun to carry and shoot, right? I don't like how the takedown or the slide lock lever slash safety like digs into my hand, my thumb here. I don't like that. I don't like the takedown that you actually have to pound out a pen and you're only allowed to take it down so many times. And then like the gun's done. You like waller out the hole in the polymer frame. There's things I don't like about it, but I will say this. I like that they're cheap and people can afford them. And their customer service, from what I've been told by others and my personal experience calling them, their customer service is completely fabulous. High Point, just for example. So just depends. Chuck R says, I've heard Sky has terrible customer service. I've heard that too. I can't tell you personally. I've not called them. specifically, but I've called High Point, wonderful. I've called Taurus, had bad, and I've called Century and had even worse. So I don't know if you can call Canuck directly or not. I was under the impression that if you live in the United States anyways, that you don't get a direct line to actual Canuck, that you have to deal through Century. That's the impression I'm under. I could be wrong, though, on that. Matthew Melton, name drop? LOL. Who am I name dropping? Sky used to have a good warranty. Their warranty's good. Taurus's warranty's pretty good. It's just, look, guys, I have a lot of people that like Taurus that watch the channel. So it ends up being now that I've probably had dozens of people, I'll say, that said, hey, I had a problem with my Taurus, G2C, G3, pick whatever one you want. I sent it to Taurus. And they'll say 26 weeks and still waiting. I'm like, oh, or 12 weeks, 20 weeks. Now, I get thousands of people. And when I say thousands, literally thousands of people. My Taurus G2C, G3, G3C, you name it, 85, my Taurus 82, that are like, man, I just had this thing for thousands of rounds. Takes a licking, keeps on ticking, it's running perfect. So I think they're great guns because 99.9% of the people that leave me feedback love them. But the people that have had problems with them, overwhelmingly, I get customer service complaints and horror stories in the comments from people. And my personal experience has not been the best. So, and Iron Horseman just had an awesome. See, this is the internet, guys. Anything you say, everyone will say the opposite. But Iron Horseman's not just being, I'm not saying you're just being contrary. I'm just saying take it for what it's worth. I can only tell you my personal experiences and what I hear. But I'm going to add Iron Horseman now on my list of that, yeah. Taurus has excellent customer service in his experience. Chuck R, Taurus Spectrum. I had the Taurus Spectrum not do so well with some European, like military spec hard primers, you know. Maybe it strikes a little lighter with the striker than some. But when I use any kind of just American-made brass case 380, it's been firing great. Just shot it again the other day. Had a couple friends shoot it. It was actually fine. So. Oh, he says, when you told customer service your YouTube channel name, LOL. No, actually, it's a funny joke, but I wasn't name dropping. It's just be no different than this. Like, if I was in high school, I was in the journalism class. When you called someone for, to get information of an interview, you'd say, I'm writing for the high school, for the Jefferson Journal. I go to Jefferson High School. I'm writing for the Jefferson Journal, and I have the following question. So actually, I was doing it in that manner. I'm calling to get content for a story from the 2A EDU channel, and I'd like to know. So that's actually how I meant that. No, there's no name dropping with me. Are you kidding me? I called Lakeline to try to get a barrel from them early, and I'd pay for it all with my own money, 100%. Didn't even ask for a discount, just so I could get it quicker and get you guys a review right away, so you'd know the day they came out of the gate whether you wanted to spend your money on it or not. They told me to pound sand. So, yeah, they had no idea who I was, trust me. I like it that way, though. That's good. Let me tell you what, if that barrel's perfect, you guys will be first to know. If it's not, you'll be the first to know because I made no deals with any of them. I just try to get information so I can let you guys know about stuff. Let's see here. I'm just going to take one last look here at the chat, see if there's any questions. The Taurus pistols have been treating me great. I really like that Stoeger STR9. People keep on asking me about the and it's because it's one of the cheapest pistols here. Let me see if it's still in stock here. The Zagana. Stuff comes and goes so fast right now, guys. The PX9. Let's see if that's still in stock. I think it is. Gosh, their website's slow right now. Jeez. So many people's buying guns, the websites are slow. The SDS Imports, Zagana PX9. I like it so far. I like it. You guys are going to see the first shots video as soon as I can get that stupid hard drive recovered. The first trigger pull right out of the box, it like glitched on me and made me jerk my first shot like something was stuck in it. Then after that, it was just fine. I like the ergonomics of it are pretty good. Yeah, it's just another decent little striker fire pistol, to be honest. I love the holster it comes with. What kind of ticks me off is it comes with two 15-round mags. That should be 18-round because these take the SIG P226 mags, right? They put a dimple in there to dimple it down to 15, which is deceiving. So I want to let you guys know that when you see the Zagana PX9, you're going to immediately think to yourself, oh, well, that's a compact. That's a Glock 19 size because it takes 15 rounds at 9. No. It's a Glock 17 length or like one of the Canik full-size lengths. So 17 rounds in a Glock mag equals like 20 in a SIG mag because the SIG has a lot better mag design than Glock, if you ask me. While Glocks are great pistols, they have polymer-wrapped mags that make them way thicker than they need to be. Thus, you've only got so much room inside the grip. You're taking away mag capacity by having double layers of excessively thick polymer. That's my beef with Glock mags. Do Glock mags work good? Absolutely. Are they great pistols? Of course. Very inefficient amount of rounds. So keep in mind, when you get this Zagana PX9, it's a full-size gun because it really has an 18-round magazine stuffed in it that they just dimpled down to 15. And I kind of wish they put that in the title when it's for sale, like, 18/15, because when I first bought it, and I'm not mad, I paid like $279 for it. It was a great deal. And I love the holster, but I was kind of a little bummed out. I got it. I'm like, why is this thing so big? It says it holds 15 rounds because you kind of get it in your head. If something holds 15 rounds at 9, it's of a certain size. No, it's bigger than that because it really holds 18, and they're just sending you some kind of gun control mags in there. So I definitely wanted to get that out in the open. But would I buy one? Yeah, I would. If you guys are looking for another gun just because you want another one, if you're looking for your first one and it's $300 and everything else is too expensive, I definitely put it on the list I recommend so far. Matt Stars is talking about the HKP 30. Oh, I'm getting tired, guys. I'm going to get off here in just a second. But yeah, 530 is a pretty good gun. I've heard good things. I do not own one personally, though. But I have heard good things. VA Wolf drinks coffee. I need some coffee right now. Yeah, a lot of you guys are telling me how great Taurus customer service is. So apparently it's good. So I wish you guys luck, though. I do. Definitely wish you guys luck. Why don't one of you guys do this for me? Call the friendly customer service of Taurus. Find out what actual steel their barrel's made out of. And then forward the email to me. Have them email you. What is it? Is it like they'll say steel, right? But that's like a total non-answer. Find out if you guys have a good relationship with Tauruses. Speaking of name dropping, you guys know Taurus like 1,000 times better than I do. Let me know, though, for you guys that are good friends with Taurus, let me know what steel that barrel is actually made out of. Because I've been seriously trying to figure it out for about a year. Jonathan Todd, I do not have necessarily brands that I'm recommending. I don't have money to really get into those too much. So I'm sorry, man. I'm not an expert, although I'd like to help you. I just don't know enough where I really like to go there necessarily. I'd rather tell you I don't know than just to give you bad advice. I'm just taking one last scroll through. See, I like this StreamYard program, but what it doesn't do, and I'm going back to the YouTube pop-out chat. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me 1 second, guys. I just closed it. It doesn't, when you guys say at 2AEDU, which is what I want you to do. I definitely want you to do that. It doesn't highlight it in orange. It does not highlight in orange, and it's a little bit annoying. So let me pop out this chat again from YouTube and hold it next to my StreamYard. Just give me 1 second, guys. Susan makes this stuff as difficult as possible, trust me. As soon as you get used to one thing on here, Susan comes in and changes it where you're always learning for the first time. All right, good night, Cave Dave. I appreciate it, man. I'm getting ready to get off in just like 2 minutes myself. It is getting It is getting late. Good night, Threaded. For my pleasure. Nice to see you, man. Sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier. I must have missed you. Always good to see you. In fact, will you send me a text tomorrow or the next day? Because you made me an offer a while ago. And if something happened where you can't know, I get it. But let's just put it this way. I've got the G3C, the G2C. I've got the Lakeline threaded barrel. Are you still there, Threaded, for my pleasure? I hope you're still there. I just got some of this, 150 grain. If you know what I'm saying. Maybe I can hang out with you. And you can thread a little something onto my G3C and we can run some of this. What do you think, dude? Send me a text. I'd love to. I want to test out that Lakeline barrel once and for all with some of this nice subsonic Syntec. I'm not being very thinly veiled about what I'm asking the guy for, but whatever. VA Wolf looks like he's out of here, man. All right, I'll see you. Oh, he said we all need to contact them. I have called them about you. Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, dude. That's nice of you. JBM Water 2. Range day soon. Yes, as soon as I can catch up. Her name's Gretchen. They call her many, many, many other things, but I'm in a good mood. So I'll just say she's called Gretchen and many other things. She messed up the small businesses in Michigan. Still trying to catch up, but not in a good way, like in a chasing my own tail, losing money way. But I'm still trying to fight on and just get 2020 over with. Like I said, they call her many things, including Gretchen. She's the governor. David didn't have anything to say, but he did leave a donation. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the super chat. David Sapulveda. Veda? See, he helps me out and I mispronounce his name. It's all good. Thanks, David. I appreciate it, man. JB in Water 2 saying that he shot it through his 26 and it worked okay. I'm assuming you're talking about the Syntec. Yeah, I've got some subsonics here. I want to thread something onto that new Lakeline barrel. I actually have some couple different types of compensators. I'm going to test. Some of you guys are into compensators. So I got a couple different varieties. You too, VA Wolf. He says, have a great evening and weekend. Great show and keep up the great work. Yep. Hope you got the write-up before. I definitely get stuff from you, dude, and I love every bit of it. So I appreciate it, man. Just remember, guys, I read. I don't have time to respond to everything, but I do read. And if I give you a heart, that means I liked your comment and I read it. Just always remember that, guys. There's way more of you guys than there is me. So I don't mean that in any way other than that it's just true. I can't. But I do love to read, and I love hanging out with you guys, and I actually feel quite lucky, to be honest with you. Well, last call. If there's any other questions or anyone else that wants to say anything, I'm getting off of here in just 1 minute. Barrier Island, man, Michigan has one bad governor. Yep, understatement of the week, but we're in a good mood, right? So, Pillbox, yes, we do. Yes, sir. Yeah, Wilhelm Scream says another good stream, even though I was late. Well, hey, you can go back and watch. And one last minute thing. I know on your phone, you have to click the down arrow and hide the chat for just 2 seconds. Just hit a thumbs up. There's already tons of hate on the stream. Just for me giving my honest opinion, which is just fine. They can hate if they want. But if you guys liked it and you just forgot, I'm just reminding you, thumbs ups are free, and it helps kind of tell Susan a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That you guys still like this kind of content. So... Matthew Melton, I'm just going to say bye to you guys real quick and get out of here. Matthew Melton says, here in Alabama, we're still free. God bless Alabama. Where's Jeremy Wilson? Did you go to bed? My friend Jeremy Wilson's from Bama. Stuart Jackson, thank you. VA Wolf, thanks. Douglas Parker, never got my question answered from last night. What was the question? Hit me up real quick with it right now, man. I honestly can't remember what it was. Yes, Tim J. Federal has plenty of ammo for sale. Yes, they do. I've been trying to help you guys out with that. Ooh, people get mad at me when I try to help people out with where to find ammo, but it's all good. I'll definitely keep on helping you guys out. Jonathan Todd suggesting chaos group supply. Cool. JB and Water, my bud from X94.5 is coming up with some very good people at 11 a.m. All right, cool. All right, Tim J, I appreciate it. Let's see here. Pillbox Bunker, good night, man. Rudy Finney, thank you as always. You stay safe, and I'll catch you next time. Cats, Cars, and Ringtail Gang, good to see you, man. Joshua B, am I drinking sweet tea tonight? No, it's unsweetened that I drink. But yes, I am drinking. David Harris, only one thumbs down. Only one jerk came here. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought when I looked up there, it was a lot more than, yeah, there's a lot more than that. They trust me. there's a lot more than one. I'll just leave it at that. There's always a lot more than one, but that's fine. If you're making everybody happy, you're probably not doing anything right. So, David Parker, which was, hey, 2A, okay, what can I do as an individual to change and or obliterate these infringements to our Second Amendment rights in Vermont? Okay. So individually, you're not going to be able to do it all by yourself. So individually, in a way, nothing. But hold on. That's not my final answer. Goes back to what I just said. There's other good people too. You need to get together with them and say, guys, we need to make a stand on something here. So maybe you could start on the national level and see if you could get Senator Bernie Sanders out of office. That might not work, though. But what you could do to help Vermont, because he's your national senator, is you could focus on some people that are kind of really close to losing their jobs in your state. Every state calls it something different. In Michigan, it's called your state representatives and state senators. So you can actually focus with local groups and focus on these specific people and hold their feet to the fire and say, you want to keep infringing upon our Second Amendment in Vermont? We're going to let everybody know. And that's where it's you guys' job to actually let everybody know. Maybe you'll find somebody that's running against them that's super pro 2A. You always need to vet them on your own. But after you vetted them, they've passed the sniff test. That's about the best you can do. Joe Biden uses the sniff test. Awesomely. Okay, very tongue-in-cheek there. He uses it, but against small children, that's nasty. That was a bad joke, guys. But anyways, use just the old common sense sniff test. If you think they've convinced you they're pro 2A, well, they're probably half pro 2A because all politicians lie at least halfway. But find someone that's a lot more pro 2A and just slowly but surely try to pick off your individual state representatives and senators and get it turned over, because if the majority of them that are voting to legislate and make laws in Vermont start to lean more pro 2A, that's how things get changed. And it starts with just you. It starts with your neighbors. It starts with your friends, maybe in your church, maybe your local gun club. Yeah. So there you go. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself, but you'd be surprised how much you can do. Because maybe someone that you get motivated to get involved, they may get a little fire under their behind, and then they may, et cetera, et cetera. We can spread good things too with wildfire, right? So that's what you do, man. That's what you do. Get with your local gun rights groups, you know? If it's your home, and it always has been, yeah. If you don't want to leave, which I'm not telling you to leave, if it's your home and you want it to be, there must be some pro-gun people in Vermont. In fact, from what I understand, Vermont actually has pretty good gun laws on the state. Now, if there's any gun laws, that's an infringement of the Second Amendment. So if you even have one, that's infinitely too many, just even one. But from what I understand, Vermont's not as bad as some of the other states. So, but I heard it's been changing a lot lately. A lot of things have been changing a lot. And I think what you're saying is you want your gun rights back. Yeah, go get them back, because the longer you go without them, the harder it is. So there you go. Unfortunately, there's no like super easy answer. To abolish them as an individual, like literally, I can't condone anything like that on here. That could mean many things. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming you mean defensively. I have no idea. That comment can mean many things. I'll just leave it at that. Liberty not licensed Biden's a bad joke, or the system that promotes him. Yeah, I know. Well, I realize he's corrupted old sayings. It used to be like, does it pass the sniff test? Like when you're just analyzing. Now sniffing's become some totally new thing. You've got a candidate to be the president of the United States that has now ruined the word and corrupted sniff. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like I've got it kind of wrapped up. A lot of you guys are already saying good night, and I need to get off of here too. It's definitely getting late. And David with another super chat. Thanks a lot, man. He said, thank you for the great videos. Enjoy your weekend. You're the man. And you enjoy your weekend too. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate hanging out with all of you guys. And don't forget the thumbs up, Howard Straight. How do I thumbs up? Well, if you're on your phone and you see your chat, let me look here real quick. Hold on. It'll say live chat. Okay. You're going to real quickly just hit the X on live chat. It's now going to expose a row where there's thumbs ups. You can hit those. And then right to the right of that's thumbs downs. Then you can hit live chat again and you go right back into the live chat. This is Susan. She has it where the chat covers up the ability to thumbs ups or thumbs down. So there you go. Rain in Monroe again. Grass will grow. There's been rain all over southeastern Michigan. Definitely. Definitely. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Love hanging out with you guys. If you didn't catch the stream last night, I'd go back and watch it because it's awesome. And I had a pretty cool guest on there. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching and have a good one.